A believer that knows will not just only conquer, you will be more than a conqueror. Before evil happens, you and I will be able to pick it. And we cannot pick it if we don't stay constantly in relationship with God. I fear the reason we do 5-minute prayer and we are okay is because we don't even know the essence of that communication with God. If prayer is communication with God, and the more we talk to Him, the more He talks, speak with Him, the more we look like Him, the more we speak with Him, then we will no longer be in a hurry in the place of prayer. And when trouble comes, we will first go to Google or we go to a neighbor that cannot solve it. But we have left the God factor who can solve it for us. Let's read from the book of Acts of Apostles chapter 27 from verse 10. Here the Bible says, "Say amen, I perceive that this voyage will end with disaster and much loss, not only of the cargo and of the ship, but also of our lives. Nevertheless, the centurion was more persuaded by the helmsman and the owner of the ship than the things spoken by Paul. And because the harbor was not suitable to winter in, the majority advised to set sail from there also. If by any means could reach Phoenix, harbor of Crete opening towards the southwest, northwest and winter then." Verse 13 and 14 says, "When the south wind blew softly, supposing that they had obtained their desire, putting out the sea, they sailed close to Crete. But not long after, a tempestuous headwind arose called Euroclydon." What happened to them? Paul had seen it. But because they felt, even if you are everything, you were never a sailor or a fisherman. So you would not have known what would happen to us ahead. Probably if it was Peter that said that thing, they would have said, okay, from your weight of experience, we can deduce that you might be right. But because Paul did not look like a sailor, even though he was not one of them according to their profession, but he knew what will happen, not by following Google, not by following weather forecaster, but by following heavens forecaster. He knows per time, per season, that this journey is parallel law. If you and I have developed that level and we have climbed up higher in God, I am saying some evil will not happen just because we have been able to pick it. So can we say, God, take me deeper in you. God, take me deeper in you. God, I am tired of this level. I am tired of this atmosphere. And you will take me deeper in you, Lord. New dimensions in you. For us to go higher, then our discernment must be sharpened. We must not just only hear, we must also see. We must not just only see, we must also know. If you notice, Paul did not say something tells me. God did not say I have a feeling or premonition. He said I perceived. It is a knowing that you know, but you know. It is a place in God where our tomorrow is no longer intact, but but we see it today and we walk into it tomorrow. Isaiah 30:21 says, when you walk off the road, either to the left or the right, you will hear a voice behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it. Because according to Proverbs chapter 14 verse 12, the Bible says there's a way that seemeth right to a man, but the end leads to death. John 10:27 says that my sheep hear my voice and they follow. The reason we will follow is because we constantly hear. And also constantly hear means there must be a discernment. There must be listening here. There must be listening here. There must be seeing house. There must be out that can perceive. There must be a knowing on our inside. That will be able to say, not just something, but God told me. But God told me. But God told me. One day, I was closing from work. I think I was still in the church office then. And I was just walking on this express. And I just had a strong feeling to leave the spot I was and cross to the other side. On a normal day, they will say, when you are walking like that, you should face the incoming vehicle. You should not back it. But the instruction was contrary. I was to back it. Then some seconds after, I hear bang. An accident happened right at that spot. And everybody in that keke napep were wounded. Dangerously wounded. Collided into another woman selling things. You know, the first thing that gripped my heart was that what if I had not listened? What if I was thinking, calculating what I've been told logically? But sometimes when discernment comes, it will bypass logic. So far, some mistake we make up until now, logic brought us there, not God. And some things we are experiencing and enjoying today, most of them were as a result of things we know. And most of them too were also as a result of things we don't know. So Paul said in the book of 1 Corinthians 3:11 that do not be ignorant of the devices of the devil. You and I are the one ignorant. The devil is not ignorant. So for us to take advantage of him, instead of him not taking advantage of him, then we must know more than ever before he will know. Before Satan gets, we must have the accurate in our hands. Before Satan puts 1 + 1 together, you have already solved the equation. And each time he tries to move, he will always meet you in front. That is what it means to come up either. It means before now, what used to be a problem will no longer be a problem. It means before now, what we used to say, I don't know, will now be that I know who I have believed because I know he's able to save me to the uttermost. What I'm saying to us, friends and family, is that there's a level in God where we daily know, where we daily know, where we daily perceive, and we are able to say, I know because I've been told. I only show, I know because I've seen it. I only show, I know because I've handled it. I've seen a man tell
Release of the Spirit, Lord Jesus.
Some answers will be good, but they are not God. Some things will be good, but they are not God. That we be not the children, those to and fro with every wind of doctrine. That we are not ignorant of the devices of the devil. We know for sure, we know for certainty. I want us to pray. There's a level in God that being called a Christian will not be an identity. It will be a reality. Because the word Christian means like Christ. If Jesus were to face some of the problems you and I face today, do you think Jesus will not know them? Do you think Jesus will not know what to do? The Bible says with his disciples, he will test them. But the Bible says for he himself knows what to do. Time is always a barrier. But can we press a little further? What are you confused about? What is it that you are beginning to hurt between two opinions? God, is it this, it is that? What is it that you are thinking? God, if only you show me the sign, if only the preacher will just mention the word, then I will know that is the direction. What is it that you are thinking that if only pastor will just mention this thing to me, then I will know this is what we are saying? There's a level in God, friends and family, that will be like John. The Bible says we will show you things to come and things for your eyes only. Things that you will know, not because you read the news, but before the news is being casted. To you, it is a news, but to the man reading the news to you, is no longer a news because you already knows. Can you just press? I don't know what it is you are trusting God for. Just for these few minutes. Can you just talk to God and say, God, I have come to the end of myself. Human strength can no longer solve this. Human wisdom can no longer solve this. But I've come running to you. I've come because I am tired of the status quo. There's got to be more in you. There's got to be more in you. There's got to be more in you. I don't want to be a Christian because it is popular. I want to be a Christian because in this I act like you. I think like you. I see like you. I want to get to that realm of which that which we said, that which we say, that which we preach, that which I have handled, the very word of life. That the word will become flesh and it will dwell in my life. That the word will become flesh. It will dwell in my compound. That the word will become flesh. It will dwell in my business. That the word will become flesh. It will dwell in my marriage. That the word will become flesh. It will dwell in my children's family, in my children's life, in my family, in my spouse's life. That the word will become flesh. That the cloud of confusion be rolled away. The cloud of difficulty be rolled away. For I know who I have believed. For I know where I have believed. That which I have seen. That which I have touched. That which I have tasted. The very word of life. That it will come real to me. That the answer be made clear. That the answer be visible. Talk to God. We are meant to step up higher. That as we behold him like in a mirror, we are transformed into this image from glory to glory. That none of us will become the same anymore. That we no longer look the same. How can we be with God and still be confused? How can we carry on knowing God and still be confused? How should God be on our inside and we still be fearful? And Satan begin to toss us to and fro. Not anymore. That the problem will become a thing of the past. That we come to that realm where we defy logic because you are asking us to. That we come to that realm where we act with accuracy.